Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters Encounters video. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I thought I would mix this one in here. Once again, it's coming from the reddit.com website. They're from the subreddit called Cryptids. What makes this entry so fascinating is because it was something involving a deer. Like, was it really a deer or was it something else? Including something that's new to me. I don't recall talking about this before, but apparently there's a cryptid out there called a NotDeer. So I may feature that more here on this channel in a separate video, but this could be a great way to introduce this particular cryptid here and then give my own thoughts and opinions on it too. It comes from a user by the name of WIWCTMX3, and they titled theirs as "What Was This Thing?" So let's go ahead and let's share this entry here. Let me know what you guys and gals think. And then again, I'll give my own thoughts and comments at the end. So here's what they state with this creepy encounter. It's hard to explain. I've never believed in anything like this. Ghosts were a bit of a reach for me. Aliens, well, of course. But myths and legends I thought were maybe based in some realm of the truth or just made up for entertainment and storytelling purposes. So I went on a late night adventure with a date. We drove about 30 minutes out of our city to grab some food in a different town. The place was open late and it wasn't McDonald's, so we took the drive and had nothing better to do. I wanted to avoid tolls, so I took the back way. Why would I pay a toll for such a quick trip? And so the drive there was around now 11 to 11:30 p.m. It's December and late in the middle of nowhere. Basically, I'm on the watch for deer and then other type of quote-unquote S-word animals. I kept my music loud and my brights on. We passed some cars driving there, but traffic wasn't too bad. And so we grabbed the food and head back, and it's now about 12 to 12:30 a.m. The road is now empty. Once I left town and went back on the back roads, there was no other drivers in the road. Again, it's the back way, not a gravel road, but I'm sure most people would take the normal highway. There's no homes or businesses for miles on end, just open fields, hills, wooded areas. It's the Midwest, so it's pretty empty. So we're on the watch for animals. The music is loud. Up ahead, my passenger and I seen something crossing the road. I first assumed it's a deer, so I slowed down from about 50 to 60 miles per hour to a stop. It was slow. I had liability insurance. I'm terrified of getting my car hit by a deer, especially if it's trying to catch up behind their friend. When I was coming to a stop, I was now pretty close to it. It was halfway across the road, moving towards the grass and then slinking its ways into the bushes. It was not a deer. In my mind, what I was thinking before I got closer was, let me look where it came from to make sure I didn't see any other deer trying to cross, and then that way I could just continue on my way home, but that's not what happened. As I came closer, I locked eyes with it, and it moved into the grass. This felt like forever. It had white, reflective eyes making eye contact with me. Now it was fight, flight, or freeze, and I froze. I just stared right back. It was in the grass, and I could still see its glowing eyes. It was turned back to look right back at me. The whole time it was moving forward to where it was going. Until it looked away as if I was looking for more deer. I was looking over on the other side. It was clear, and it kept looking back at me, and I couldn't see it anywhere else. Now it was gone. All of a sudden, it was gone. My passenger told me to go. In the moment, I remember them saying, "What are you doing? Go," in a softer tone. I thought they just didn't know why I had stopped, so I asked, "Did you see that?" And they said, "Yeah, I did. Go." And so I gunned it, immediately filled with fear, again thinking this was not a deer, thinking back that this was replaying in my head over and over and over, and now it's 20 hours later. So we talked about it, and then here's the thing. In the moment, my brain assumed it was a deer. Now my memory doesn't know what the F that was. When it was crossing the road, we had seen no legs. Not that it was slithering, but the only way I described it was like a dream. When you're dreaming and everything is fluid, constantly moving and changing and fuzzy, it was a pale beige color, but not the color of the deer. Again, we were pretty close and I had my brights on. I've seen plenty of deer in my life. This one, though, had huge shoulders that were higher than where its head sat. Its torso was sloped down. Like if we had seen the legs, the hind legs would have been much smaller and the front legs would be a lot taller. The head was a teardrop shape. It had no ears, no nose, no antlers, no tail, no fur, no flesh, no defining features. It was just like in a dream. It was so vague, it was almost like a mist. The eyes were close set together and kept reflecting that bright light. When it walked across the road and into the tall grass, it wasn't a trot. It didn't walk like a deer. Its shoulders just rolled. My passenger described it like it could have walked bipedal. Now, my passenger didn't see the head. They didn't see the eyes that were locked onto mine the whole time. They also claimed that they were yelling at me to leave. I don't recall hearing them yell at all. I remember hearing them very quietly and muffled, telling me to go, but that's it. I don't know much and I don't know what to believe. Hours later, we were both shaking, and I have this fear that it will not go away. This is 100% honest and true. What the F was that thing? So let's go ahead and let's talk about that here and see what the user has to describe. Interesting stuff, right? Could this be a deer? Could this be something else? Could this be a not deer? I was looking up some brief information about the not deer, and apparently it's like a weird looking deer. Obviously, that's a simple way of describing it, but that's why it's called a not deer, because it looks like one, but it doesn't. If anything, images that I saw reminded me of more along the lines of a deer mixed in the world of Silent Hill, just something that looks so twisted and demented. Something in the world of metal and something else, like something just so morbid that it's creepy. It's very unsettling at the very least. So could it be something along those lines? Here you have this user stating they were on the back roads. They were purposely doing a drive to avoid a toll, but at the same time they're realizing that there's going to be on the watch for animals. I can 100% co-sign this. In my Texas ghost hunt, sometimes it involves late at night driving to and from certain locations that are very remote, back roads types areas. There's a lot of deer out there. You do have to be very careful. They jump out of nowhere. They absolutely almost have like a death wish. And either they're attracted to the lights or they're just dumb, but they come right up to the only car on the road when there could have been so much time before and after to cross the road. So yes, you do have to be very careful. That's what they were doing as well. And then that's when they saw this thing. They described it as being large. It had these gigantic shoulders, taller in fact than its head. It had no skin. It had no legs. It had no nose, no ears, no antlers, no tail or fur or anything like that. It was almost moving in a fluid-like motion. They kept describing it as being in a daze, almost like in a dream. But by far the most unsettling thing was the fact that it was those eyes. Those eyes apparently were just solid white. It was making contact with that user the whole time, and it was very, very reflective. It saw the user saw it, and it was absolutely making sure that its eyes did not move the entire way as it went into the grass. And then just like that, it was gone. 1 microsecond later, it was no longer there. Creepy stuff. So what do you guys think? Is this something along the lines of a deer or a not deer? So one of the other posters was mentioning that it's a skinwalker as well. I don't know. Didn't get that impression on this case because there was no sense of dread or anything like that. But let me know. Let me know as far as those comments below. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.